Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are looking at the philosophy of the Gita is based on the knowledge of the self, which is essential for securing salvation. Then in chapter, till here, so we are done 2 chapters, 3 chapters.
Alerts and updates not installed.
We don't want to install. So, Gyaneshwar Maharaj here is giving an overview of, I think, of all the chapters. It looks like wherever it takes us. So, we saw the first chapter, how Gita, what was the reason that the Gita came about. We talked about that identity crisis. Either you wait for crisis to come, or you recognize that you are always in a crisis. What is the crisis? Body identification is the crisis. Separation from the divine, considering yourself to be not divine or separate from divine, is a crisis. Considering that you eat food and you are satisfied, and again after 4 or 5 hours you are hungry, is a crisis if you are looking for a permanent solution. Permanent solution is discrimination, that I want to come to the constant principle, not the changing principle. So when you have that vision in front of you, then everything is if you are available to it, it's a crisis, it's a learning. There is a opening available for us to grow and be who we actually are. See? Then the divine, if you become available, then the divine comes, then the Krishna comes to guide us. So first chapter was that, and then the chapter 2 affirms the existence of the self and says that the philosophy of the Gita is based on the knowledge of the self, which is essential for securing salvation. So what is told here? The Atma Jnana, Atma Bodha. So are we talking about knowledge is essential for gaining salvation? Now question is, what is your definition of knowledge? Are we talking about knowledge through the books? Are we talking about knowledge through the words that we have heard from a teacher? But what is Krishna suggesting? He is saying self-knowledge is the only way. Then the second-hand knowledge, which is by words coming to your ears, you are processing it, it may be helpful for a very, very ignorant fellow, but it must lead to self-knowledge. It cannot deliver you self-knowledge, but the language utilized in our scriptures or by teachers is such. We'll look at it afterwards, not today, another time, before we conclude the Gita, that the language has to come to a no conclusion. See, how is that? Just like you cut the wood, you light the fire, then the fire also goes away and the wood also goes away. No conclusion. What is left? Nothing, only ash. Exactly. So, is the fire left? No. Is the wood left? No. The same way. Is the I left? No. Is the objective thought left? No. Both are gone. Then what is left? Only
the body. business.
No. What is left is, because this language is in the relative, what is left is, when we say ash, then what is left behind? Only burnt subconscious impressions which are unable to germinate. Once the impressions, memories, thoughts are burnt away completely, now the positive side, that once the wood and fire both are gone, what remains is the truth. Now we come to your point. So one is the Sukha Prapti, Dukkha Nivritti, Sukha Prapti. Dukkha Nivritti is removal of our misery, which is only coming by way of memory. Once the memory is gone out of your system, out of your mind, and mind becomes empty. Do you know that when mind is empty, you are? Or you say, oh my God, I think I have got Alzheimer's, I can't remember anything. Majority people are like that. See? So, objective knowledge is only for one purpose. What is that? To neutralize all the thoughts, to burn away all the thoughts. See, that is the only purpose. But is the objective knowledge through the words or through the scriptural writings, can it deliver you the self-knowledge? No. Be very clear. This was told in second chapter. First it was told as a fact in the beginning, and towards the end Arjun asked, how do such people who are established into the truth live? So their lakshanas, their symptoms were given. But are those symptoms equal to self-realization? No. Hello. Found someone? No? He went to a marriage. I said, did you find someone? So all the symptoms put together is not equal to self-realization also. But why are those symptoms given? Because the student asked. And he gets inspired by the vision of the truth, gets inspired to aspire to be the truth. That's all. That's why the words are used. So that was the second. So clear about this? That when it is told as Gyan, knowledge is the way to salvation, it does not mean word knowledge. It does not mean thought knowledge. It means self-knowledge. Only self can know the self. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. Words cannot reach the truth. The mind cannot comprehend the truth. So, see, even just this example you take, and you take this thought, you sit, you will vanish. I have to speak, so I don't. So I'm keeping here. Otherwise, such thoughts just take you back to yourself. Then, in the third verse, then in chapter 3, it proceeds to teach the method of attaining deliverance for the persons who are bound by ignorance. Here we are told that those who are bound by body consciousness should give up the motivated and prohibited actions and perform assiduously the actions prescribed by the scriptures. So here it was in the third chapter was told. Now, after having given the highest vision of the truth in the second chapter, the student or the seeker is still caught up. But what do I do? What do I do for it? I understood what you're saying. Now what do I do next? This question comes no to us. Now what exercise do I do? Now what sadhana do I do? He is still caught up in doing. He is not caught up in being. You cannot be caught up in being, but he is caught up in doing. The karta and bhokta, the doership and enjoyership. He is caught up in that. He is still thinking, if I don't do anything, how can I get a result of salvation? Because whole life he has lived, he has to do something. If I eat food, then I get satisfied. If I lie down in the bed, then I go to sleep. If I get out of the bed, then I'm awake. Conclusions, continuously conclusions. So he thinks, what do I do? How can it be that salvation means, liberation means, it's always my state? No, 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 no. But to get to that state, what do I have to do? What process I have to follow? What technique I have to implement? See, majority of the minds are caught up here only. What is that telling you, these words? What are they telling you? It is an objective approach. It is not a subjective approach. Wherever there is objective approach, a process comes into play. Where there is subjective approach, in a jiffy, everything will stop. How much time it takes you to go to sleep? Don't tell. Because I can't give a lecture on that. If you have lived your day fully, then if you are like me, you touch the bed and you are gone. But my game is always, I have to remain awake at night. That's my game. Still the mind gets the better of me. Some days it happens, some days it doesn't. See? So here what is, so this majority people are caught up in ignorance. Caught up in ignorance, they're caught up in their individuality, in their ego, in their doership. Then how do we take them now? So here the technique that he has given, here we are told that those who are bound by body consciousness, till we are validating that we are the body. As you are thinking about yourself to be the body and nothing else, we have to replace this body by we are the self and nothing else. This is the exercise which was told in Kathopanishad yesterday, last class. That if you want to think you are the Hiranyagarbha, you are the Nimitta Karan and Upadan Karan. You are the efficient cause and the material cause out of which this whole creation has come into being, come into manifestation. It comes from you, it stays in you, it goes back to you. Just like the waves come from the water, stay in the water, go back in the water. It may not be your reality right now. It may not be your experience right now. It will never be your experience anyway. It will never be an experience, because when it happens, how water is thinking towards the waves and oceans, individuality is no longer. Individual, what does individual signify? Identification with body. That is what is called here as body consciousness. Body consciousness means individuality. See? So as long as we are body conscious, till then we are not self-conscious. If we are self-conscious, we are not body conscious. How many of you meditate? Sometime or the other you meditate. Maybe you meditate every day. A moment comes that where body consciousness is not there. See, everyone experiences. At night, go to sleep, body consciousness is not there. See. So, who are ignorant people? Who are bound by body consciousness, continuously thinking about the body, and when you think the body is real, the world is real. You cannot get away from the thinking that, not thinking about the world. It will continuously, once you take the position, I am the body. If you take the position, last week I think I concluded here, if you keep taking the position, I am the father, then automatically all the actions by that conviction will generate all the actions out of you. If you say, I have to take care of my employees as a business person, then automatically that, today I was telling one, just like that, while I was showering, I put something, this is interesting, and he is a diamond merchant in Surat. And he is being interviewed, and he says, "Sir, what is your trick? What is your management trick that none of your employee leave you?" He says, "Every Valentine's Day or someday, I make sure from my money, I take the husband and wife, every employee in my company, and every his wife, I'll send them for a 2-day trip somewhere." Acha, what else do you do? He says, then every year 6,000 families, he's got 6,000 staff. He says 6,000 families, I book a train and take them to Kashi, take them to Rameshwar, take them to Delhi, okay. And then what happens? First thing, the wife says, "You don't leave this company. It gives us a free trip every year." Then the parents say, "Don't leave this company. Before you leave the company, you talk to us, because they take so much good care." And then he says, "So what's your trump card?" He says, "I take the father-in-law and the mother-in-law also." I take them also along. Now, that fellow who's working in the company, he's surrounded by people who don't want him to leave the company. He says, this technique of taking, he says it's a business decision. I spend about 2 crore rupees. 2 crore is equal to what? 300,000? No. 2 crore is how much? $400,000. Huh? 400,000. But he's a diamond merchant, man. For him, 2 crores is nothing. He says, investment of 2 crores, keeping everyone happy. I don't have to look for a staff ever. I retain all my staff. I don't have to train any new person. See? But in the management colleges and all, this type of technique, what are you crazy doing this? Well, he says, this is working for me. See? So when we are at the body conscious level, give up motivated and prohibited actions and perform assiduously the actions prescribed by the scriptures. So what are the actions prescribed by the scriptures? Scriptures only talk about 2 actions. No, 4 actions, but to do only 2 actions. Which are they? Nimitta and Naimittika karma. Nimitta karma is get up every day in the Brahma Muhurt, wash your face, wash your mouth, go to toilet, sit in meditation, or take shower and then sit in meditation, doing your japa, whatever. Early morning, the Brahma Muhurt till 6-7 o'clock, it should be a personal time. That determines how your rest of the day is going to be. That is naturally your mind is quiet, so you access that quiet mind and transcend. And after that, whatever the puja, the archa, the breakfast, this, that, and what is he saying? That you do not, so how you structure your whole day. If you have to go to work, go to work. Then come back. Then again, take a shower, light a lamp, do your japa, attend a satsang, like all of you are doing it. Attend a satsang, and after that, take care of whatever the children need, some studies, help, and this and that, and have your dinner and go to sleep. But each part, how to have dinner, how to do puja, how to do japa, how to do meditation, everything there is a structure to it. What you should remember. So the moment you get up in the morning, you get up in the bed, oh karagre vasate lakshmi karamule saraswati karamadhye tu govinda prabhate karadarshanam. Then the moment you touch the earth, what do you call? Prithvidya dhrita loka. So as you, so your mind is going where? Your mind is not going to body identification. Your mind is going to the general principles. You are respecting everything. The earth, the life, the air, the fire comes afterwards. Pranayam comes with the air, or just watching the breath. And this way you service your mind on a daily basis in the morning. And yes, you are in a family, you have got things to be responsible for, and so you work it out. Whatever the life is presenting, you deal with it. But when you come back again, no, don't bring the office back home. Leave it there, and you again delve into what is something higher. You need a dose, you need a reminder, you need to consolidate. And naimittika, nitya naimittika. Naimittika, I told you last week, was special occasions where you do special ceremonies, and there are from prenatal till the child is 20, 21 years old, or till the marriage. Till then, there are so many numbers of ceremonies to be done because once he's married, then he will do it for his children. So till the marriage, the various ceremonies are there. It's not every day, every year birthday. That is not nemitika. That is indulgence. That is reminding you are following me, man. No, it's not that. Then what is the other two? Nitya we saw, naimittika we saw. Third is Kamya and Nishiddha. Kamya is, here it is told, the word used here was that, where are we? One should give up motivated actions. Motivated actions, desire prompted activity must be given up. Desire prompted activity is given up. Who will give up desire prompted activity? I'm asking. Who will give up desire prompted activity?
The doer.
Huh?
The doer?
You cannot. He is addicted to doing. Why will he give up? Sorry.
Who is doing karma according to, like thinking about the God and leaving the result to God or the divine?
Yeah, that is karma yoga. But who is the person? Just zoom out zoom out of yourself. You can't it is a general answer, but you have to zoom out of what is going on to answer this question. Who is a person who lives for desire prompted activities? You look at yourself. Why do you live a desire oriented life? What is the motivation behind it?
Happiness and pleasure.
But you have not got till today. Only few doses.
The ego driving it.
The ego is driving it, but ego expresses as desire. Without desire, there is no ego. So, what is the reason that one lives? If you just look at it as a fact, why one lives a desire prompted activity? Why do desires come in the first place?
Because of
Attachment.
avidya.
Say that again, Shailendra.
Attachment.
Yes.
Desire result.
Okay.
Individuality. Individuality.
Yes.
Avidya, kama, karma.
Yes. Now she's coming close to it, but still it's not the answer. But you have to spell it out to me. She said, avidya kama karma. Ignorance leads to desires, desires lead to activity, action at the physical level. So answer now, go deeper. Why desires, why do we indulge in desire prompted activity? You can say ignorance, but you don't know what ignorance is.
Body identification.
No. If you know what is ignorance, tell me what is it? Which is prompting the desires to come and making us live a life of desire prompted activity. Ignorance about what?
Truth.
Correct. So you say avidya kama karma, but avidya what? Avidya is not a thing. It is forgetfulness of our infinite being, which has brought about the identification with this body, breath, mind, intellect, and that brings about a manifestation of desires, and those desires keep us busy running from pillar to post on a daily basis. So what is why is it happening? Because we are not being who we are. When we are not being who we are, the infinite consciousness, then we live a desire-oriented life. You understand? Just think through, not just answer ego, individuality, this, but you have to think through. Because our goal is not to establish individuality, our goal is not to establish ego, our goal is not to establish desire, because they are coming and going. Then why are we studying Bhagavad Gita? To recognize that we are the infinite reality. Always look at everything from that standpoint. Then answers become very clear. So here he is saying, such a person, he must not live a desire-oriented, desire-motivated life, or do prohibited actions. So what are prohibited actions? Killing someone, stealing something, the first yama niyama are told, those are all prohibitive actions. Ahimsa, asteya, brahmacharya, shaucha, etc., etc. The 10 of them are there. So if you don't do them, you are doing prohibitive actions. If you are following them, then it will help you. If you have to do actions, follow. If they are saying practice non-violence, where do you practice non-violence? You go and teach everyone, but yourself not practicing. So where do you practice? Again, when we say, where do you practice non-violence? It is an action. Killing, whichever way. So, where does action take place? Manasa, vacha, kaya. So, there is a physical killing. You can kill by words. Permanent damage. You can break relationships just by one word. And you can do it merely by thought also. Because that's how first the thought comes, then the word comes, then the action comes. Isn't it? So this is just one example I'm giving you for ahimsa. Same thing with asteya, same thing with other ones. See? So prohibited actions. So prohibited action, get up after sunrise, prohibited action. Overeating, prohibited action. If doctor is telling you, hey, don't eat sugar, and you say everyone is having sweets, everyone is having sugar in the coffee, tea, milkshake, and why should I not have? Okay, I will also take. Why this discrimination? Why they are not giving it to me? And you go and force, I have the freedom, equal rights, take it. What will happen next? Straight away to the hospital. Isn't it? So why are we told that do not indulge in these actions? Because the consequences of them, practicing them or following them, you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine. See, like someone at home, I don't know if you know it, our job is to keep educating. What is that? We all take milkshakes, smoothies. How many of you eat smoothies with berries and strawberries and with milk and everything? Yogurt? You all drink?
No.
Good, only one. It is the worst combination you can ever put into your tummy. It's poison. Anything sour with milk, you are asking for long-term problems in your body. But it tastes very nice. Ice cream with strawberries. We used to eat in Switzerland. So every night we used to eat one big bowl with so many strawberries. Banana milkshake, okay. But we have, sometimes we have gone to fruit salads with cream and custard, and in that orange is also there, berry is also there, apple is also there. Dangerous composition. We have eaten it. But once you come to know, now I stay away. It curdles everything and then goes and destroys. It starts eating you from inside. And then Swamiji, they say everywhere, Google it, man, don't believe me. For last 1 week, he is eating only with water. My milk bill is going less. No, but it is dangerous. We go for the taste. We don't understand the repercussions of it. We are talking here, Nishiddha karma. What should be avoided, what should not be indulged in, we should stay away. Then there's, because, no, why I will go. What is it now? Desire prompted activity. I will do it. Who are you to tell me? Desire prompted. Then how you should live? If I can't live desire prompted way, nor I am allowed to do what I like, because a lot of our likes are the wrong only, then how do I live?
Do everything as an offering to Lord.
Yes, do everything as an offering to Lord, good. But the Lord hasn't come in between yet. If we don't take the Lord, then what do you do? Keep the Lord outside this. You are here. What do you do if you are not allowed to live a desire-oriented life? And you are not allowed to indulge in unwanted activities, banned activities. Then what do you do? It's simple answer. It's not a complicated answer.
Go to satsang.
Go to satsang, okay.
Nothing to just be.
Just be okay, but can you just be? You came all the way from Footscray. Yeah, so it's a journey, which means activity was involved.
Do the right work. Right experience.
Carry out the duties. Carry out the duties.
Yes, you are doing the good. You are doing the nitya and the nimittya. You are doing the daily activities and the special activities that is keeping you busy. Apart from that, whatever life presents you, you deal with it righteously.
Exactly.
Because every moment, life is presenting you some situation or the other. You are not seeking it out. You are not running after it. And very simple examples. Thirst comes by itself, hunger comes by itself, pressure comes by itself, isn't it? Waking comes by itself, sleep comes by itself, headache comes by itself. You take the Panadol, simple, go over. Or if you have some other solution, do it. But to think continuously about what if now the hay fever season is going to start and I have to take care and oh my God, last year it was so bad and what will happen this year, and already you are worked up. Huh? This is unwarranted. When it comes, you deal with it. Or if you know how to deal with it, take the action and don't allow those thoughts to come and corrupt your mind again and again. And this is why Nitya Karma, daily activities, no moment of the day must be empty. You're always either meditating or doing whatever is required to be done. You set a plan for yourself. How? At the right time you eat the food, at the right time you have your coffee, at the right time you have a siesta, at the right time you get up. At the right time, again you have afternoon tea or coffee. At the right time, you have your dinner. At the right time, you have your time with yourself. At the right time, you give your time to others. 1 hour with the kids, or some time with the wife, or some time for the business, or everything is structured to the best. There will be a bit tweaking, but in general you are following that, and we are all following it to some extent, but not by choice. We are doing it because we are forced to. We have to go to work. Why? If I don't go, I will lose my job. So that is your motivation. See, this is the 3rd chapter. Prohibited actions, and perform, where are we? Perform assiduously the actions prescribed by the scriptures. So the Lord concludes the 3rd chapter by the statement that the prescribed actions should be performed in good faith. Means what? You will perform anything only if your conviction about that particular action is there. If I should not steal. If you are convinced, then you will not steal. I must tell the truth. If you are convinced only, then you will tell the truth. I must not hurt anyone's feelings. If you are convinced with that in yourself, only then you will be able to. But conviction normally is only at the intellectual level. Faith has to be added. Faith means the bhav has to be added. You must feel for the other person. You must feel. Bhav is not feeling, okay? Bhav is not feeling. Faith is not feeling. I take those words back. Don't feel. Faith is faith. So until and unless we don't believe in what convictions we have, till then we will not implement them in our life. Or I should say even this, when we have faith in our convictions, without our will, they get implemented in our life. You don't have to keep reminding yourself you are a father. Automatically, your actions to take care of your children automatically happen, isn't it? Same way. You don't have to keep reminding yourself, I am a man or a woman. That you're convinced. So all your activities are prompted by being a man or a woman. You can write a thesis about it. I'm stupid. Then all activities will be from stupidity. I am Hiranyagarbha. Then all activities will come. You are not there, but activities from the body will be prompted by that power, that force, that life force. Where are we sitting? Where are we sitting? In the imaginary or in the real? In the imaginary, in the illusory, or in the real? Gaunatma, Mithyatma, or Mukhyatma? Where are we sitting? So anyway, so here he says that they should be performed in good faith. This is how the first 3 chapters contain the Karma Kanda of the Vedas. When a doubt arose as to how this performance of obligatory functions would release one from the bonds of ignorance, Lord Krishna explains. What does he explain? Let's read it and then we'll take it from there. 1445. He says, ऐसी अपेक्षा झालिया बद्ध मुमुक्षुते आलिया देवे ब्रह्मार्पणत्वे क्रिया सांगितली जे देह वाचा मानसे विहित निपजे जे अजैसे ते एक ईश्वरोद्देशे कीजे महितले हेच ईश्वरी कर्मयोगे भजन कथनाचे खागे है ना, हाँ, खागे आदरिले शेष भागे चतुर्थाचेनी ते विश्वरूप अकरावा अध्यावो संपेजव आघवा तव कर्मे ईशु भजावा हे जे बोलिले ते अष्टाध्यायी उघड जाण येथे देवता कांड शास्त्र सांगतसे आड मोढूनी बोले. He says here that Lord Krishna explains, what was it? When a doubt arose as to how this performance of obligatory functions would release one from the bonds of ignorance, we were thinking that we are the supreme, we are the absolute, we are the infinite, we have to surrender to the Lord. But here you are saying you have to do nitya nimittika karma, you have to be busy with that. What is it going to do to us? Repetitive. Every day get up. It's repetitive. Every day light the lamp. It is repetitive. It's repetitive action. How is it going to help us? What are we? And an individual only lives as a body. What is in it for me? What am I going to get back in result? It is a valid question. That what will I get if I do nitya nimittika karma? I can understand Nishiddha and Kamya karma should be avoided, but daily and special activities that we have to do, what am I going to get out of it?
Purifying the mind.
Good. Someone's listening. Someone's sorted. Huh? Yes. So let's see what he says here. He says, obligatory functions would release one from the bonds of ignorance. Lord Krishna explains that when the bound person reaches the stage of a seeker, he should dedicate all his actions to the Supreme Brahman. Now, are you ignorant or are you a seeker? Are you ignorant will come? What is coming under the umbrella of ignorance? Under the umbrella of ignorance, what is coming? What is the conclusion there? What is the disposition there? Ignorance is expressing as body consciousness. With that, what is its disposition? World is real, roles are real, health, disease is real, joys and sorrows are real, running after the joys, running away from sorrow, running away towards the success, running away from failure. This is what is real for such a disposition who takes the body from first stage, body consciousness, that leads to this disposition. Who is a seeker? Still in body, still body conscious, but has worked out that this accepting myself as the body is not giving me the answers. It is not keeping my mind calm. It is not giving me the peace that I am seeking in my life. It has worked out that running after the world has not given me the contentment that I was seeking. So, who is a seeker? Who has started suspecting that the answer lies somewhere else. If it is not outside, it must be somewhere else. Is it above the clouds? For some people, it is above the clouds. But here we are talking about seeker. He has understood the answers are not outside, answers are within. He is focused within, meaning he, instead of being body conscious, I must be conscious of the consciousness. Then a seeker is born. Understand this very clearly. If this is not taking place, we are knocking on the wrong door, and we can keep studying scriptures day in and day out. Maybe next life, some window will open. So a seeker is also in the body, but his attention is on the something higher. Either some seekers we see, they are trying to master the matter through yoga. They are trying to master the material world through yoga. They are mastering the body, they are mastering the breath, they are mastering the mind. They are still objective seekers. They will never reach the Kaivalya Pada. They will never reach the infinite self. Because they are still doing the practice, keeping the world as taking the world as a stimuli. The attention on the world is still valid for them. World is still there. World is disturbing me. I must be more powerful than the world. And they try to find a way. This is what was told yesterday in Kathopanishad also. Ignorant people think about the world, wise people think about the self, the Hiranyagarbha. And once you surrender and merge into this is the communication language, once you merge into the Hiranyagarbha, the total, then thereafter the world doesn't exist for you, because you are all that there is. From the Hiranyagarbha point of view, the names and forms are invalid. Because he is everything. He doesn't need to. And yet the drama continues. For whom? For the others, not for you, who has checked out of the world. See? So seeker. Are we seeking the world or are we seeking the consciousness? The one who is seeking the world is an ignorant seeker. The one who is seeking the self, to be the self, he is a true seeker. So here the Lord Krishna explains that when the bound person, bound to the Panchakoshas, the individual, bound person reaches the stage of a seeker. So through the analysis, through the working out, through being exposed to the satsang, etc., etc., all of us were like this only before. Slowly now the itch to be in satsang all the time is there. It must be replaced with, sometimes outside is okay, but more, till all this must prompt us to be established in ourselves as the self. No, I'm going to do it myself, and you give up the satsang also. Then what will happen? Very quickly the world will take you over. And before you know, hey, what happened to me? So continue the satsang till the absorption. Till you become one with it. You be one with it. To recognize that you are it. Again, when I use the word to recognize, it's not recognition, it is rediscovery. So here he says that stage of the seeker, he should dedicate all his actions to the Supreme Brahman. Now this is an art, this is a knack. Until and unless we don't again and again think about it, that my eyes are blinking because of him, the hunger is coming because of him, the hands are moving because of him, the speech is coming because of him, my legs are walking because of him, the sleep is coming because of him, waking is happening because of him. Every activity, manasa vacha kaya, every activity, the movement of the 4 states, Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, Samadhi, waking, dream, deep sleep, and meditation, Samadhi Abhyas, or whatever roles that you are taking, whatever activity, that the thought activity, the speech activity, the body activity, it is happening, rather than say that I am doing it, you be the witness of it. And who is doing it? He is doing it. Who is he? The divine, the all-pervading principle, the Hiranyagarbha, or some higher power. Here Bhagavan says, you dedicate it to me. And we are all, we accept there is God, we accept there is a higher consciousness. We don't need to know who, we don't need to give it a name also. We don't need to give it a name, but dedicate it to all, dedicate it to that. There is some X factor, some force. Yesterday also in Kathopanishad, what is that, what is that which is keeping all the planets and the sun in the orbit of that force? What is that force? What is that force which is keeping Why are the planets not banging into each other? Why are the planets not going and dashing into the sun if the sun's gravitational force is so great? Why? What is making the each planet and the sun going round and round around its own axis? These are, we can explain centripetal, centrifugal, but then where does that force come from? Where does the gravity come from? I'm not mathematician. They have calculated it, everything. But still, as they come closer and closer and closer, now today's reality is, according to the scientists, there is no creation. The quantum scientists today are already declaring that there is nothing called creation. You are living in an imaginary world, taking it to be real. But our scriptures are saying that for 20,000 years. See, they are saying it now. Still they don't know the other answer. Who am I? They still don't know. But they come to, through their working out, through their mathematics, through their analysis, they have worked out that the world is not real. It's phenomenal. Then what is real, they have still not discovered. So now you think where you are sitting right now and what you are listening to, how powerful it is, how deep it is, how all-encompassing it is. You are far, far, far ahead by these so-called, ahead of these quantum scientists and call them whatnot. If we are subjective. See. So all our actions here, he is saying that dedicate all your actions to the Supreme Brahman, to the Supreme Reality. For some people, Supreme Reality, what is the Supreme? I know only the Ishvara, I only know the Narayana, I only know the Ganapati, I only know the Narasimha, I only know the Kartikeya. Okay, offer it to them. See that they are prompting all the activity. This is for absolute basic. You want to start, you have to start from here. That, because remember what was the second chapter? Second chapter established that truth alone is, but there also one karmanyeva dhikaraste, your only right is to act without expecting a result. Act in what way? Third chapter told you, do the nitya naimittika karma, do your daily and special activities and stay away from desire prompted activity and stay away from forbidden activity. But when you are doing activity, how do you do it? Do I have to? No, you, whatever activity you are doing or that is getting, because you are not following desire prompted, some activity is taking place. So when some activity is taking place, a response is coming out, you see that response as the grace of the divine. He is prompting that activity. He is making those thoughts come. He is making that speech come. He is making the body act in a particular way. You get out of the way. You don't take ownership of any damn thing. This is what he is telling here. This is third chapter. Nice, no? Some weeks ago or some months ago, I explained to you the 6-7 chapters in a different way. Here, Jnaneshwari Maharaj is showing it very beautiful. Then he told Arjuna that whatever prescribed action he performs through the agency of body, speech and mind, he should perform them in dedication to God. There you go. So all actions must be dedicated, should see that they are prompted by the divine. And even if, we are coming one level down, even if you think that you are doing it, you do it for his sake. that I am taking this lecture not for myself, I am doing this lecture for the first is this lecture is he is prompting the speech to come and lecture to happen. If that is not the case, I am giving the lecture, then I am doing it as an offering to the divine, to the Lord. And where is the Lord? Lord is everywhere. So which Lord? These are the Lords. These are the expressions of the divine. So I may be calling Colin, I may call Stanton, I may call Usha, but in my heart in heart, because that's the language we speak, but heart in heart, I am absolutely convinced. I have complete faith that everything in this creation is of the nature of divine. Well, why? Divine itself is the material cause, divine itself is the efficient cause. This must be again and again reminded to yourself. Then there is no competition, then there is no comparison, then there is no higher, there is no lower. Then I am not teaching you, I am offering. See? So when my attention is on myself, it's the divine who's functioning, who's expressing as the speech, who's prompting the speech. And when I look outside, I see everyone as the expression of divine. Divine meeting the divine, story over. Consciousness meeting the consciousness. See, comes to that. See, just talking about it is so fulfilling. See. He should dedicate all his actions to the Supreme Brahman. He told Arjuna that whatever prescribed actions he performs through the agency of the body, prescribed was Nitya Nimitta, Naimittika. Those actions he must offer it as do it as an offering to the God, or what he is saying here, perform them in devotion to God. He proceeds to explain at the end of the chapter 4 that this yoga of action should end up in the worship and praise of God. Here he's missed few chapters in between, because in between comes Karma Sanyaasa Yoga, which is the 5th chapter, then Dhyana Yoga, which is the 6th chapter, and then from the 7th chapter onwards, he allows Arjun to suspect that he is the infinite one. Sutre Maniganaiva. So he's missed a few chapters, and suddenly he says that the same theme has been continued till the end of chapter 9, in which it is stated that the Lord should be worshipped through work. Our problem is that we want the result first and we want to put efforts later. First tell me, what is it going to give me in return? Once I know that it is going to give me this, then I'll put efforts. Is it going to give me this much return? Okay, then I'll invest. Is the property going to give me this? Then I'll invest. Is the wife going to be, is it going to be a very happy married life? Then I'll get married. Afterwards he works and finds something different. But it can be also. Many are there, happy ones. But we are always going after the result first, then we want to put the actions. Here it is being told, forget the result, only perform the action. And that also not by investing your mind or time or efforts into thinking that I desire this or I desire. Just nimitta naimittika. Brushing your teeth. What is there to achieve out of this? It should be done. Getting up out of the bed must be done. If you have to do it, why delay? Do it at the right time. If you have to get up at the right time. If you have to brush at the right time. If you have to take shower at the right time. But do it as a dedication to the divine. That is important. And that is why our Sanatana Dharma, when you take shower, it is not, so wonderful, let me spend, it's so cold. Today, how much it was? 7 degrees in the morning. So a little bit, 5 minutes extra under the hot water shower, it doesn't matter. No, what are we told? Gangai cha yamunai chaiva godavari saraswati narmade sindhu kaveri jalesmin sannidhim kuru. Shower over. That quick. Okay, do it 11 times, man. Do it 11 times. But don't make it an indulgence to be under the water. Don't make it an indulgence to stand in front of the mirror and combing. And then checking, oh my God, so many hair are coming out. Today, Mom was putting some oil on her hair and she said, I'll oil him and afterwards I'll take shower. So after putting massage, this, that, everything, she's sitting on her chair and put the hair, comb, came out. This much hair came out. Then she combed this side, another this much. What is happening? Look. What can you do? See. So here he says that this dedicated activity to the Lord. Now what was happening in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th chapter? The seeker was, as he's going through the chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, his body identification is reducing. Understand this. Activity has not reduced. Identification is reducing, but activity is still going on. First it was physical activity, then it came attitudinal activity or nitya namittika karma, then the karma sannyas, I must not do activities also a thought. Now he has transferred from physical activity to mental activity. Then meditation is also an activity. You are living in the world and you do an activity to go to the seat of meditation or sit on the seat of meditation and go introvert. It's still an activity and you come out and the world is still there. Then thinking about the divine, 7th, 8th, 9th chapter is still an activity, mental activity. But now you are not thinking about the world, you are not thinking about the body, you are thinking about the divine. First, you are offering desire prompted activities. Initially, you are offering it to the Lord. Then, whatever activity was being performed, you are seeing it as the performance, the divine will prompting them. So you are weaning away. And as you are weaning away, somewhere along the way, your body identification is also diluting. And now your attention is only on the divine. Acha, who is this fellow who is doing it? What is his nature? What is his power? How does he function? How come he is everywhere? What about birth and death? And all these questions that Lord is answering. Lord Krishna is answering to Arjuna in these chapters. And then when he comes to this, what is this chapter number? The one coming after X is 11 or 10? 11. 11th chapter. The same thing has been continued till the end of 11th chapter. And 11th chapter, what was 11th chapter about? In the 9th and 10th chapter, till now I came till about death, how to prepare for death, etc. was told in the 8th chapter. In the 9th chapter, again the Lord said, this is how I am present in the whole creation. Then Arjuna asks for more clarity about that. Then the 10th chapter began where 75 cases were given, examples were given, and he says, just like among the mountains I am the Himalayas, among the men I am the Arjuna, among the trees I am the Ashwatha, and so on. It keeps taking different aspects of creation and telling which is the specific one. You put your attention on that one and you will come to me. But creation is infinite. How? He gave only 75 examples. He says, I can keep speaking and you can keep listening. Arjuna says, yes, as much as I enjoy listening to your beautiful speech and these examples, I am mesmerized, but it's endless. Is there any way, natural thinking, is there any way I can experience all your special expressions in one go? 11th chapter. And what is 11th chapter? Vishwarup Darshan. But here also activity is going on. What is thou? It is not a physical eye activity. It is not a mental activity. It is a third eye. The faculties of the Lord helps Arjuna to transcend his senses and the mind to perceive the Vishwarup. See how the progression is taking place. And he observes something fantastic, something stupendous. But he's still observing. He's still observing outwards. He's still objective in his approach. You understand? As fantastic as it may be, but it is still an objective approach. Then, where are we? Till the end of chapter 11, in which it is stated that the Lord should be worshipped through work. In these 8 chapters, he has described the Upasana Kanda, that is the division relating to spiritual discipline, in which the Gita explains how one should avoid the obstacles in one's path. How do you avoid the obstacles in one path? Stop taking responsibility. Oh, we are expert at that. But you are expert at not taking responsibility and blame someone else. Here we are talking about not taking responsibility and surrendering all activity at the feet of the divine. That's the difference. When it suits us, we don't take responsibility. And when something happens conducive, oh, I did it. Isn't it? It should be all the time. Whether the sukha dukkha samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo. So, through all the opposites, we have to remain equanimous. That was the first stage. That is in 2nd chapter. The teacher told, this is how the wise men behave. This is their symptoms. This is their disposition. Then what is for us? We should also be like that. But when it suits us, we take the accolades. And when it doesn't suit us, then we blame someone else. Very rarely we see both the opposites being prompted by the divine. See? From divine point, there is no opposites. The sun and the day and the night are because of the sun. Until unless this conclusion you don't come to, you will not look at the sun. Once you look at the sun and you are not distracted by the day and night anymore. Now you are totally single-pointedly focused on the sun. Acha, how does the day and night, how does the sun create day and night? And when you start thinking from the sun's point of view, by being the sun, then you realize that there is no day and night. Exactly the same way here also. So, day and night are the effect, sun is the cause. So, same way, all the opposites are there. Your attention goes to, because of who is supporting all these fellows, all the opposites, that fellow, that God, that divinity, that Brahman, that consciousness. How does the consciousness look at everything? The moment you take the position of consciousness, that is after this, from 13th chapter onwards. So till 12th chapter, you transcended the body identification, you came to the total identification with the total, identification with the divine, but that was only because objectivity was the norm. First it was 6th chapter, I am the consciousness. I am the consciousness is okay. What about the world? World is also consciousness. That was 7th to the 12th chapter. Acha, this is also consciousness and I am also the consciousness. Are they separate? I have to be one with that total consciousness, man. I have to contemplate. Till this question is there, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Because his attention is that the total consciousness is separate from individual consciousness. No, but they are one and they are like wave in the ocean. Yeah, but I am not unable to drop the idea of the total consciousness from my mind. Neither I am able to be one with it. So what do? I keep thinking about it. How? Some trigger is required to God's name. Smart people will, immediately it will happen. For some, that is the process. In our life, nobody is coming, come, I'll touch your third eye and you'll give you the vision. Krishna did to Arjuna. Has anyone come in your life? Come and touch your third eye. His third eye is open. Oh my God. Nothing, such fantastic things have not happened. Or they may have happened. But then we didn't do the 13th chapter to the 18th chapter. And we got stuck there. So, where is it already time?
No.
So, the same theme has been continued till the end of chapter 11, in which it is stated that the Lord should be worshipped through work. In these 8 chapters, he has described the Upasana Kand. Upasana means sitting near the divinity. You cannot sit near infinity because you are the infinity. So as long as the duality there, before the duality was me and the world, now the duality is me and the Lord. Individual versus the total. That is the duality. Just because we live in the world as an individual, we are full of duality. Inside, outside, up and down, left and right, man, woman. So when it comes to consciousness, individual or total consciousness. There also we bring the duality. See? Upasana Kand, that is the division relating to spiritual discipline, in which the Gita explains how one should avoid the obstacles in one's path. So what is the answer? What is the way to avoid the obstacles in one's path? Transcend. Surrender to the divine. See him as the prompter, as the propelling force. He is the one who is expressing as life in this body. He is the one who is expressing as life in every body. If he can make this inert body activated, all other bodies which are also inert, made out of the 5 elements, they are also activated by the same force, same propelling force. And once you are caught up in this, wow, that must be really wonderful, isn't it? Whenever you see something beautiful, you want to pursue it. Like that Tom and Jerry show. You want to see it again and again. You don't get tired of it. Here Tom is the totality, Jerry is the individuality. The show is going on. God says, I made you out of myself. He says, I'll make you out of myself. Like me. He says, you are conscious. He says, no, I'll give you my form. And we have given him the form. We have given him the attributes. So what can he also do? He also accepts it. See the funny game. So till the 12th chapter, the duality is still valid, but it has moved from world or the body identification to total consciousness identification. Our focus has moved from the individual consciousness to the total consciousness. And how did it move to the total consciousness? The reason we thought of the total consciousness is because when we opened our eyes, we saw this in world of variety. And we are thinking, oh, if I am the consciousness, I can work out that I am the observer of this body, breath, mind, intellect. But what about the world? There is this same consciousness. We haven't worked out the unity between the two, but at the still the mind is functioning. Still the mind is functioning. And then in the 1145 हमने पढ़ लिया कि नहीं? शास्त्र सांगत से आड़ मोढ़ूनी बोले, नहीं ये तो हो गया ना. हाँ, आणि तेणेची ईश प्रसादे श्री गुरु संप्रदाय लब्धे साच ज्ञान उद्बोधे कोवळे जे ते अद्वेष्टादि प्रभृती की अथवा अमानित्वादिकी वाढविजे म्हणवनी लेखी 12वा गणू तो 12वा अध्याय आदि आणि 15वा अवधी ज्ञानफळपाक सिद्धी निरूपणासी म्हणवनी चहूही इही ऊर्ध्वमूळाती अध्यायी ज्ञानकांड ये ठाई निरूपिजे एवं कांडत्रय निरूपणी श्रुतीची हे कोडिसवाणी गीता पद्मरत्नांची लेणी लेईली आहे. He says, the true and compassionate knowledge which brings through the grace of God and from following the sect of the Guru has been described at great length from the verse he who is non-hostile to all creatures in chapter 12 to the verse absence of pride in chapter 13. Yeah? If you, the qualities, any one quality you cultivate in you. So here your attention in the 12th chapter and 13th chapter. 13th chapter begins amanitvam adambhitvam. So towards the end of the 12th chapter, the qualities are given, and towards the beginning of the 13th chapter, again 31 qualities are given that one must practice within themselves in order to come to the consciousness that I shouldn't say come to the consciousness, it is to bring about integrity within ourselves. It is to bring about synchronization within ourselves. It is to transcend. By thinking in that manner, it is to purify ourselves completely. Upasana was to purify ourselves. But now, even that duality between the individual and the total consciousness, that has to be dissolved. And for that, some of these qualities that were given. So he says here that, so right now from 13th chapter, knowledge begins, Gyan begins, but this Gyan is also objective in nature until unless we don't apply it on ourselves. Are all these qualities told for the Lord? No, he already is part and parcel of all these qualities are in him, as him. So he doesn't need that instruction. The world doesn't need the instruction because world is inert, world is phenomenal. So it doesn't need. Then who needs? This idiot needs. Why? To transform. So already we have transformed ourselves from body consciousness to total consciousness. Now we want to be the consciousness. To be the consciousness, some different rules of engagement are required. The same thinking, karmanyavadhikaraste, is not going to help in being the consciousness. Patram pushpam phalam toyam is not required in order to be the consciousness. Patram pushpam phalam toyam, that you can invoke the divine by a flower, by a leaf, by a patram. Patram is leaf, pushpam is flower, toyam is water. If you don't have anything, then this is enough. I know so many people just leave water in front of the Lord. Every morning they take it as the prasad of the drink it. But that objective approach is not going to help in being the subjective self. It is not. So here those qualities are told. The true and compassionate knowledge, which is our nature, don't forget that. It is not something far away, it is your nature, which springs through the grace of God. So where is God situated? Located in and through every being. So you were thinking he is separate. You understood that he is expressing through the whole creation, but you forgot that you are a part of the creation. This is where the problem comes. We take the world to be separate from us, and we forget this body, breath, mind, intellect is also part of the world. Therefore, the need to bring about, or this thought that I am the total, or the individual consciousness and the total consciousness are one. If that distinction was not practiced in the first place, then you bypass this totality. So when you do Vaikari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, if you do it with this proper knowledge, then you bypass the Pashyanti. Because if you are awake in Pashyanti means where the thought and the objectivity of the thought, the subject of the thought and the object of the thought, both are in unmanifest form in deep sleep. Deep sleep is the cause, waking and dream is the effect. Now look at it from total point of view. Look at it from total point of view. Who is the cause of the entire creation? Hiranyagarbha. Who is Hiranyagarbha? The golden womb. What is that condition where the entire creation is available in the nascent form, in the unmanifest form? All possibilities are there till they manifest. And even after they manifest, the Hiranyagarbha remains as Hiranyagarbha. He doesn't get lost. Remember yesterday's or day before, last Kathopanishad class. He doesn't get destroyed. So whether waves come out of the ocean, ocean continues to be ocean. He doesn't become less. He doesn't become more when the waves go. He continues to be the same. So Hiranyagarbha, the total consciousness, continues to be the same. Whether creation is manifesting or unmanifesting. See. So when we understand, acha, this is the way. And what is the creation for you? Creation is nothing but name and form. Form you have addressed. Now you are at name and you are catching where does the name Ram, where is it manifesting from? Where is it merging back into? Where is it manifesting from? Before we were saying it is the Lord, it is the Lord. Now you are talking about consciousness. Consciousness is not outside. I am the consciousness. So where is it appearing? Where is it disappearing? If you remain awake to it, you bypass the total consciousness and you come to the infinite consciousness. See? But if you, what is that, and you go to sleep, then when you wake up, again Ram, 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 again go back, again. It's a continuous. You have to till you fine tune it. Only once you need to bypass it, then it's over. But it's not that you are bypassing. It happens in your wakefulness, in your awareness. You are removing the mindset, zero thoughts is equal to sleep, which you have practiced for lifetimes. Lifetimes you have practiced that. And when you have taken, when you are surrendering everything, you are taking the name, you are invoking His grace, you are remaining alert, being the consciousness. Only by being the consciousness you can bypass the sleep. Otherwise not possible. I'm going to bypass the sleep. It's not, by your decision nothing is going to happen. It is only by grace. And when it happens, only once is required. Anyway. The true and compassionate knowledge which springs through the grace of God and from following the sect of the Guru has been described at great length from the verse, He who is non-hostile to all creatures in chapter 12, that means ahimsa. We can look at the Bhagavad Gita, I don't have one here, but the verse begins probably from ahimsa, non-violence, and it goes on to where are we? To the verse, absence of pride in chapter 13. And so I have included chapter 12 in the Jnana. So Jnaneshwari Maharaj says, even though chapter 12 is generally taken as a part of the Upasana Kanda, he says, I have taken it into Jnana Kanda because towards the end of the chapter, towards the conclusion of the chapter, some verses are attributing to the knowledge. Therefore, he says that. So, we'll look at, you have a Bhagavad Gita here? Anyone? Look at chapter 12 or beginning of chapter 13. Show me the verses.
Chapter 13, 7 is Dhammanitvam Adavlitvam.
That is the conclusion then. And see chapter 12, towards the end, there will be some qualities that it will begin with ahimsa.
Sloka 13, Advaita Sarvabhutanam.
This is chapter 12. Advaita Sarvabhutanam na evacha.
Nirmamo nirahankaro samadukkhasukakshami.
But the quality is, one moment, why am I asking you? I got the book here.
Testing me, sir.
No. Anyway, I'll look at the verses here, it's only in English. So, anyway, Do some homework. Everything I have to do or what? This is how you hide your shortcomings. So he says, so I have concluded chapter 12 in the Jnana Kanda, that is the division of the Vedas dealing with knowledge. The theme of the 4 chapters beginning with the chapter 12 to the end of chapter 15 contain the Jnana Kanda, that is the pertaining to knowledge, dealing with knowledge. In this way, the Gita, which is a beautiful digest consisting of 3 divisions, is telling all in a thundering voice that they should partake in this fruit in the form of liberation. In chapter 16, it expounds the nature of ignorance, which is inimical to the means of knowledge. And here in chapter 17 states that this enemy of knowledge must be conquered with the aid of scriptures. In this way, from chapter 1 to the end of chapter 17, the Lord has explained the gist of Vedas, which were born from his very breath. The 18th is the crowning chapter, which contains the pith of the discourses in the previous chapters. In this way, this discourse known as the Bhagavad Gita, enshrined in 700 verses, constitutes the Vedas incarnate, but is superior to it on the point of generosity. We'll look more into these last few chapters. That is from chapter 12, 13. I'll do my homework and come, and then we'll look at it in our next.
आप ये बोल रहे थे अमानित्वमधुम
हाँ, that is 13th chapter, na? That is the last of the qualities. The 13th chapter begins with the qualities. Or does it start from 7th verse?
7th
7th से शुरू होता है qualities. Is it?
6th है महाभूतानांकारो बुद्धिवक्तुमेव च इंद्रियाणि दशैकं पश्यचर्य.
Chalo, I'll look at it and come back next week. So here Jnaneshwari Maharaj is giving us a precis, a summary of all the chapters, and we will continue our contemplation in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.